America is the land of opportunity for every person in every community. That is the promise. As CDFIs, we carry that promise, investing in opportunity across the country. Some moments, however, remind us how fragile that promise can be. And yet, through it all, we hold fast to our purpose. We steady ourselves and we keep going.
So CDFIs are really critical to the local economy because we support those projects and efforts which are really mission critical and mission first. We address the toughest issues. We're in community. We have deep relationships with our partners and truly know what the needs are in our community at any given time.
Because people aren't statistics. They're neighbors, families, and entrepreneurs we know by name. Moving forward through challenges is what we do. Whatever comes, we are there as financial first responders, opening doors, backing dreams, and rebuilding communities together.
When we help a small business owner be successful, they're creating a financial legacy for themselves, for their children and for their employees. It's one of the biggest pathways to wealth creation, right behind home ownership.
Homes, Main Street, community health, energy resilience. This is our work. We move it forward together. For more than 40 years, OFN has carried this purpose, linking capital to community, from our founding in Philadelphia to the nation's capital. We hear the needs, and we hear you. More capital, better tools, stronger capacity. This is our purpose, and we know what it takes next. Over the past 5 years, OFN has delivered more than $700 million in affordable capital, including $210 million through the CDFI Fund Bond Guarantee Program for members to deploy and put to work in their communities. Through the uncertainty of the year, OFN has successfully raised millions and is on track to provide over $115 million in affordable capital for members to deploy and put that capital to work in their communities. These efforts are expanding access to long-term, low-cost financing, empowering members to be more resilient and create opportunity where it is needed most. Our success has created the momentum to build on a strong foundation, a strong future. But we know it's not enough. The work ahead demands bigger investments, greater partnerships, and stronger tools to deepen our impact. This is the moment to recommit to our mission, our communities, and the promise that defines us. As America nears its 250th year, we're reminded of our country's promise and our part in keeping it. Opportunity for all. This is why we gather, to take stock, to stand together, and to carry the work forward. We've been tested, we carry the scars, and we are stronger for it. We will keep this promise, especially when it's hardest. Together, as one network, we build what's next. Opportunity Next begins now.
Good morning. All right, you all sufficiently warmed up? We ready? Let's go. We ready? All right. Good morning again. Good morning. To the OFN board, our wonderful staff, and every member and partner of this extraordinary network, it's an honor to be with you this morning. I want to begin with saying hello to some of our friends, led by Theodora, Michael, our friends at Responsible Finance, who join us from the UK. Let's give a warm OFN welcome. Theodora's here, and I think there's 11 or so folks from the UK. Just to mention, not only is a great hello, but to know that our movement and our work is not just here in the States. Our purpose and our mission goes beyond our borders. And so making sure that we're in community with those that are here, yes, but also across the world is important to make sure that we strengthen ourselves and within our community. It was just 2 years ago that I stood before you for the first time as OFN's CEO, welcoming you to my home. What a decade these past 2 years have been. I was well aware of the expectations that accompanied my start. Those expectations were certainly not about me, but they were rooted in this moment of promise that was etched into our founding 40 years ago, that opportunity should exist for all. That belief wasn't just a mission statement. It was a declaration of faith in the unfinished promise of America, that prosperity should never be a privilege of geography or circumstance. We journeyed together to OFN40 in Los Angeles to not only celebrate the impact of what we have achieved over the last 40 years, but to usher in the next era of the industry, the third wave, under the conference theme, Made by History, made for this moment. What a year since. We find ourselves gathered again here at OFN41, where our journey began together 2 years ago here in Washington, D.C., at a moment that feels both familiar, yet unprecedented. Familiar because, as an industry, we've been tested, and we know what it means to be tested. We are America's financial first responders. And when we stood under the banner Made by History, made for this moment, it wasn't about our ability only to seize an opportunity. It was about our resilience. Over 4 decades, our strength has been forged through challenge, through changing administrations, economic downturns, a global pandemic, and disasters that occur at a frequency that they've become commonplace. Each of those moments reminded us that the promise that we hold so dear cannot be taken for granted. It must be defended. It must be delivered. And it must be reimagined by every generation. But this moment also feels different, unprecedented even. The tests have been relentless. Budget battles, executive orders, headlines questioning the very agency that symbolizes our mission. All have revealed that, as the kids say, we got ops. That's opponents, for those of you that don't speak fluent TikTok or Instagram, those sort of things. I just want to make sure, you guys are keeping up. We entered the year with great optimism about the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund and prepared to unleash its full potential to help communities realize the promise of energy independence. But phrases like terms and conditions quickly gave way to new ones, like arbitrary and capricious. Regardless of the circumstance, the truth still matters. And we don't need courts to tell us that. And yet, through the difficulty of the course of the year, we're here together, gathered together, standing together, serving together. It's emblematic of the experience of these last few months. When the CDFI fund was attacked early in the year, the first time, we mobilized. Not halfway, but together. The weekend calls, the coordinated efforts, all fueled by the belief in the promise of this worthy work and our commitment to the communities we serve all across the country. Our actions were fueled by entrepreneurs like John Bancroft in Youngstown, Ohio, who, with the support from Valley Economic Development Partners, was able to purchase new equipment and hire more staff for his manufacturing business. Fueled by places like McAllen and Wislaco, Texas, where homeowners like Esmeralda Lea, with help from Affordable Homes of South Texas, was able to get down payment assistance and support to purchase her family's new home. Fueled by Native American military veterans like Peter searching out Clove and 10 veterans who became homeless, but became homeowners through the support of the New Hampshire Community Loan Fund's Veterans First program. We have tens of thousands of more stories. These stories are embodied in the work that each and every one of you perform every day. So we know what's at stake. It's not just programs, but people. Not just funding streams, but futures. We gather today under the same environment where we're being tested over and over again. And I know you're tired. I know I sure am. And this year continues to remind us that we're going to have to prove ourselves over and over again, and we are going to be subjected to standards of judgment much more stringent than most financial institutions are judged by. And growth will mean greater scrutiny. Now, those words, ever applicable today, were actually spoken 40 years ago at OFN1 by Chuck Mathai, OFN's first board chair, as he stood to address the first gathering of this network. At the time, they managed approximately $27 million. Today, our network manages over $50 billion. You see, he understood what we're reminded of today. This is not the first time we will have to stand up for our purpose. And it certainly won't be the last. And for our industry to endure, we must stay focused on our why. Even the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who wasn't exactly known for soaring optimism. See, we got some philosophers in the house, I get it. He once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." We know our why. And because of that, no matter how hard the how is, we will keep going. You see, it's the burden of our great bargain. This notion that regardless of the circumstance, the question, the attacks, we are in service to this country to ensure that opportunity exists for all. When devastating wildfires hit Los Angeles, weeks after we convened for OFN40, I knew that inclusive action for the city would take steps to reassert the promise in its name to ensure that no one was left behind in the recovery from the fire. After deadly flooding struck Kerr County, Texas, weeks after we convened for our Small Business Finance Forum in Austin, I knew that Lift Fund would move swiftly to help small businesses rise again and restore the hope of entrepreneurs across Texas Hill County. These are the worst of circumstances. And the examples are too many where so many of you perform the unsung yeoman's work, to ensure that dreams are realized, that hope is restored, that futures happen. This is our story. And because we're clear on our why, we will always endure. It will be easy during these times to succumb to fear, to believe that this latest test is perhaps our last. But I believe differently, that we can be confident through uncertainty, that confidence and uncertainty are not countervailing points, and they must exist simultaneously. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat the times that we're living through. The policy threats to our work are certainly real, and we have leveraged all the tools in our toolkit to combat those threats, and we'll continue to, just as many of you have. But I'm also not going to concede that we cannot and should not stand firm and be confident in what we know to be true. Our confidence rests in the truth of the impact that we have delivered in communities all across this country for decades. But we know optimism alone is not enough. Optimism must be paired with action, especially now. Our future cannot rest on any one program, any one funder, or frankly, any one moment. And I believe the only way to predict the future that we want is to create it. There we go, we'll take that. In our regional meetings and convenings across the country, through focus groups and surveys, and perhaps more than one conversation over bourbon, we've been listening. And through that listening, we've built a vision for what's next, for the infrastructure our industry needs to thrive. Today, I want to outline 5 pillars of solutions that are fundamental to that future, the future we must build together. And these are solutions focused on capital, products, talent, policy, technology. 5 core areas that are critical to our future. These pillars will define our work and our focus through 2030. And next year, we'll unveil a full strategic plan that outlines that direction. First, capital. Capital is central to our work, and OFN manages one of the largest portfolios of investments in CDFIs of any financial institution across the country. We manage over $1 billion in capital to many of you to deploy into communities. But the raise a dollar, lend a dollar strategy of the past will not sustain us for the future. Shaping the future before us requires that we invest not only in raising capital, but developing new capital structures and expanding the sources of capital that animate our work. To support this effort, this year we launched the Capital Innovation Center and identified through this initial and inaugural effort 7 industry-focused capital solutions and partners that are focused on efforts that are practical, that are replicable, that we can bring to the industry, that respond directly to what our members have told us they need most: flexible, affordable capital, secondary market access, and scalable partnerships that lift the entire field. These solutions don't belong to OFN. They belong to the network. They're designed to ensure that no matter the size of your balance sheet, you have access to the innovation and capital you need to serve your community. This is how we move from capital scarcity to capital scale, and from one-off transactions to shared architecture for opportunity. Second, products that meet communities where they are. When we listen first and build with purpose, financial products become more than transactions. They become vehicles for transformation. We're reimagining loan structures and equity tools and partnerships to serve those left behind and left in the margins of traditional finance. Product innovation requires data, systems, and people who can test, learn, and scale what works. And it demands patient, risk-tolerant partners who understand that experimentation is essential to progress. Together, we'll build an ecosystem that turns ideas into impact. Third, talent. As leadership transitions from the second wave of the industry to the third, we're preparing the next generation. That's why we've partnered with the Citi Foundation to launch Career Meets Purpose, a new hub for CDFI career pathways and professional development, connecting job seekers with opportunities across the industry. We'll also introduce a new membership model, a professional society that connects individuals, not just organizations, to learn and lead together. And because leadership grows through connection, we've launched new practitioner summits. This year, many of you attended our inaugural summits for communications professionals and HR professionals. We're building new spaces to connect and deepen your capacity. Next year, we'll add the OFN CEO Summit, a space for executives to connect, collaborate, and lead through change. Our goal is simple: to equip the people who power this industry to grow, thrive, and lead for the decades to come. Fourth, a pretty boring area for all of us this year, policy. This year has reminded us that we can't just react to policy. We must shape it. And to do that, we need new structures to not only shape policy, but to expand our influence. In February 2026, we will convene our inaugural OFN Policy Summit, leveraging our convening power to align national strategy with state and local leadership. Policy is most effective when it's about what we're fighting for, not who we're fighting against. It's about uniting our strength to make opportunity possible for every community. We will always defend the CDFI fund, period. We will defend as well other federal programs that are critical to driving resources into our communities. This year has reminded us, though, that all politics are certainly local. In nearly 25 states, you have been mobilizing to form state and local CDFI coalitions to shape new funds, secure public investment, and amplify your voice. We are developing an agenda to support your coalitions, and proud to serve as both a convener and a champion, helping to align priorities, turn alignment into action, and ensuring that policy remains one of our strongest tools for expanding opportunity nationwide. The last area, data and technology. As an industry, we've never lacked vision, but too often we've lacked the tools. Our data is fragmented. Our systems don't talk to each other, and efficiency comes at the expense of insight. Many of you live in spreadsheet nation. You felt that one, huh? Last year, we launched a new project internally, Opportunity 360, where we're building new data infrastructure our industry has long needed. We've hired a new team focused on data strategy to connect insights from across the industry so that we can deepen our performance, spot opportunity, and make faster, smarter decisions. This effort will serve as the foundation for our investments into AI, new technology partnerships, and the innovation economy. It's an investment in intelligence, in infrastructure, and in the communities that we serve every day. Now, to animate this agenda, we know we can't do it alone. Partnerships have been and will continue to be an essential part of our work and our strategy. Last year, we took the first steps toward this future through the launch of new partnerships with MassMutual Foundation and MasterCard Strive USA, launching our CDFI Innovation Initiative to help scale new solutions across the industry. Today, I'm excited to announce 2 new partnerships that will support our efforts to build the future that we want. This year, we concluded a successful $5 million campaign with Focusing Philanthropy, which attracted high net worth individuals to support our work. This campaign was leveraged to support our efforts to provide members with flexible grant support to support the balance sheet. Today, I'm happy to announce that we're launching a new campaign with the same mission. Together, we're launching a new campaign with Focusing Philanthropy to scale opportunity, a new $5 million match to support CDFIs with investments in small business and affordable housing. Next, I'm proud to announce another new partnership. To advance our efforts, we're launching a new $45 million strategic partnership with our friends at Capital One. This partnership is a meaningful and concrete step, not only in their community benefits plan, but in OFN's shared work to build the future that we want together. And these are 2 great partnerships that will help us shape the future we need to create. There's more to come. It's critical during this time to ensure the magnitude of the challenges that we're facing are met by the measure of our actions. We know disaster and disruption will come again. We have to build the solutions that will ensure we're ready to step into the moment, ready to serve, ready to lead, ready to build. This is what makes us indispensable. But predicting it will rain doesn't quite count. Building the ark does. We must embrace 2 truths simultaneously with our work. 1, that we must build from and celebrate the success of the past. We owe it to ourselves and the celebration of the legacy of those who came before us. But 2, that we have to operate differently for the future. We can't ignore that the world is changing around us. The question is whether we will change with purpose or because we're forced to. I choose purpose. Ambition has been at the center of our movement since its birth. The fact that CDFIs even exist is a reaffirming testament to innovation and ambition. We will not and must not forsake it now. Regardless of who questions us, when the next challenge comes, we will be here, and we have to be ready to serve. Now, as we look to the future, we must root ourselves not in programs, but in purpose. Because what we're fighting for matters far more than who we're fighting against. Our work has never been about winning arguments in Washington. It's been about winning opportunity back for those who've been left out. That's the promise of America. It was 30 years ago that President Clinton said the CDFI fund was created to help keep the promise of America. The belief that everyone should have the chance to build a better life for themselves and to build a better life for their children, to build a better future. What we do isn't just about capital, it's about character. The character of a nation that believes opportunity should never be rationed. It's the same promise first written in Philadelphia nearly 250 years ago, a promise underwritten by a pursuit. A promise not yet fully realized, but kept alive every time a CDFI finances a dream, funds a business, or saves a home. We are the custodians of that unfinished sentence, the more perfect union still under construction. Our fight, there's certainly been more than one fight. Our fight isn't against an agency or a person or even a bad headline. It's for the communities that built this country and for those who still believe in it. It's for the entrepreneurs who turn storefronts into lifelines and for the families who refuse to give up on their block, their town, or their future. That's what we're fighting for. The enduring idea that place should never determine potential. And so, as we open this year's conference, my charge to you is simple. For investors, leave here ready to keep that promise. Funders, leave here ready to keep that promise. For our CDFIs, you won't be able to guess what I'm gonna say next. Let's leave here ready to keep that promise. Earlier this year, we had the chance to spend some time in Asheville. And during that time, I was in an Uber with a driver and was asking her, how are things going? This was a couple months after the hurricane had devastated the area. And she shared what was happening and how community was coming together. And it was still a pretty raw feeling and emotion. And she said, why are you in town? I said, hey, there's a number of us around the country who try to help make sure that communities that you live in are recovering. I told her a little bit about our work. And she said one simple thing that always stayed with me. This was Arlene. She said, you all are angels with wings. Keep doing what you're doing because we need you. Then seeing the work that organizations like Mountain Biz Works and so many others were doing in that city, in that region to make sure that we were recovering as a country. It just continues to bring me back and remind me, again, of the importance of what we do. Because we're doing it and we're facing the same challenges, it's really important, our timing here together today, that we gather. It's important that we are together. And we gather together so that we can chart our own course, but also to draw strength from each other and from this community. A community that keeps showing up, supporting each other, often when others walk away. When we leave DC and go home, we leave DC knowing that the work continues. The obstacles may grow, but so does our resolve. Last year, we celebrated 40 years. This year, we're charting the path for 40 more. History will not only remember that we endured during this time, it will remember what we built. Together, we'll write the next chapter of this nation's story, a story of opportunity renewed, a story of possibility restored. And yes, let's, this week, take a moment to exhale together and to let our hair down a little bit. That'll be a pretty fast process for me. So for those of you, that can support me, I appreciate that. But this is why we gather, to be together, to draw strength, and to be in community. Let's let this be our finest hour. Opportunity Next begins now. Thank you all.